topology, like I said, from last week. So topology is simply the relationship between geographic features. Okay, the relationship between geographic features. That's what it is, and that's why I've put two couples who are not looking at each other's face. Is okay, relationship. You know, the sort of issues that you have in a relationship. Are you okay? What people even call a relationship may not even be a relationship, and that is not a topic. But I'm just trying to bring your attention to, you know, when we say relationship between geographic features, then what do we mean? Is that okay? And who is trying to call me? Hey, answer me. Anyway, so features on the ground also have this same relationship that we seem to, you know, have amongst ourselves as human beings. Yeah, features. When we talk about geographic features, we're talking about buildings, we're talking about roads, we're talking about railways, we're talking about all the stuffs that we see around, all the objects within our environment. Okay, so let me go to my whiteboard. Then again, I think I opened it. Where did it go to? Microsoft Whiteboard. Okay, there you are. Okay, so if you talk about relationship, let's say this is the red line that you are seeing is actually some sort of feature on the ground. Oh, this is messing up again. Don't do this. I love using this whiteboard, and yet sometimes it's a shame that it doesn't work the way you want it to. If it doesn't work, I'll carry on. It seems to be working, then all of a sudden it doesn't work. Okay. Then today I don't think we'll be using it. It's my favorite. The Microsoft Whiteboard is my favorite for teaching because I'm able to draw on it, you know. But then now I'm only getting dots. Israel and Accra cannot stay. Hey. Yes, first. So when you look at it closely, what is really happening here? What is happening here is the meetup. Is okay. So someone has a relationship with someone because they met them and then they started relating. So they are always meeting. So you can't really be in a relationship with someone if you're not meeting them. Are you getting that? The same thing seems to be happening here if you really look at it closely. Let's also look at a build. Let's assume this is a building. Okay. If there's another building, or let's call this a boundary, the boundary to a plot of land. If there's another plot of land, which is next to, so the neighboring plot of land, so or the neighboring farm, let's assume this is a farm. So the neighboring farm will have to share a boundary. That's also a relationship of a sort. Okay, so that relationship is actually happening here. Okay, because we are sharing a common boundary. Is that okay? Even the actual boundaries of the polygon that you are calling the farm itself, there's a relationship between the boundary lines. Is that okay? They all have to kind of join up at certain points for the polygon to become the polygon, what we call a polygon. In other words, a polygon is actually made up of several lines which are joined together, enclosed set of lines. Are you okay? All right. So when we talk about topology, then that is it. For points are just basic. If there's a point here at this point where I put a star, that's it. There's nothing very interesting about it. There's no relationship. Are you okay? So topology is actually trying to refer to these kind of relationships. So I'll go back to my slide, and everything I'm saying will be around that. Is okay. So let's look at topology and what it is. What is topology in GIS? So topology refers to the spatial relationships between geographic features, the spatial relationships between geographic features. Okay, so there you go. Spatial relation, it has to be spatial. So the relation between a boy and a girl, if they say they are in a relationship, or a man and a woman, a lady and a gentleman, is that of I don't know, love. It's the one person says they love the other person. It's not geographical. Are you okay? Because the person, one of them can travel, and even when they have traveled, they still consider themselves to be in a relationship. So that is topology for you. It refers to the spatial relationship between geographic features. Is that okay? So the example of geographic features, you can talk about parcels of land, okay, a forest stand, a football field. Can talk about, like I said, rail, all the transportation networks, rail, road, okay. It describes the relationship between connecting or adjacent coverage features. So this is just a term that is used a lot in GIS, but just take it that concentrate on the word features. Okay. So, but then what we want to say is that those features have to be close. They should be adjacent. Are you okay? So when someone gives you a direction to a place, say adjacent, are you okay, to this particular place. So it's near. So you can only have relationship if you are close. Are you right? Can only have that relationship. For every even human relationships start with having that closeness. Are you okay? It's very necessary. All right, GIS that supports topology allows a set of topology rules. So in other words, there are rules, isn't it? For every relationship to work, there's got to be a certain agreement, isn't it? So someone says, I'm in a relationship with you, I want to marry you so that we become, husband and wife, that kind of thing. So let's start this relationship. You start, hey, I don't like this, I don't do this, I don't want this. Is that okay? You have to call me every day. And someone also tell you, don't call me every day, call me every 3 days. So there are rules that define a relationship. The same with spatial relationships. So in GIS, you need to actually set what we call the topology rules. And then once you set the rules, then the software will ensure that you have certain relationships. One of the reasons why we do topology or enforce topology is that if we represent this line this way and then this line this way, and the two don't meet in our representation of the features, if they were actually supposed to look more like this one, and yet they are looking like what we are looking here, then obviously there's a problem. It should look like this, but it's looking like this. The problem here is that we are really sending the wrong message. If this is reality, then it means that we have actually misrepresented. Okay, so this is an error that needs to be corrected. I remember we talked about errors in digitizing, and one of them was undershoots, having overshoot, etc. So we need to now snap this line. Is all right. Otherwise, what does it say? Then it means we are really saying that if this were a road, it means you can drive straight through and you can never turn left. You can drive straight through without turning left. That is what it means. Is that okay? And so that is why it's important to establish the topological rules, okay, in such a way that you can have the relationships that you want to have in your modeling of the world around you, right? Which is what GIS is all about, modeling the world, our world. Are you okay? All right. So let's carry on. Topology has 3 basic components. We have the connectivity rule. We have the area definition or containment, which is also polygon arc topology. For the connectivity, it's also referred to as arc node topology. And then the very last component of topology is contiguity. All the components have their own rules. Is that okay? So the connectivity component has its own rules. Is that okay? And what are the rules? The first one says that points along an arc. So an arc is another word for a line. Are you okay? So it represents curves, straight lines, all those ones are also what we call them arcs. So points along an arc that define a shape are called vertices. Are you okay? That's the first. The second rule is endpoints of the arc are called nodes. The third rule says the arcs join only at the nodes. Is that okay? So it sounds like, oh, these are no rules, right? But they are really rules. If I really explain to you, when you look at the diagram down here, it's actually made up of a route, or I don't know, Americans say route or route. Are you okay? But it's like a road. Are you okay? Some kind of road network. All right. So this one is arc 5 or line 5. Can call it arc 5 is better because it may be kept. Arc 1, arc 2, 3, 4, and 6. The beginning of arc 1 is this point, and then the end is this point. Okay, so that is arc 5. Any other point in between this and that, so these are nodes, these are called nodes, and then any other point that define the shape of this arc here, we call it a vertex. So singular is vertex, and then plural is vertices. All right. Now, arc 1 is actually joining arc 5 at this point. Okay. And so arcs only join at nodes. Arcs only join at nodes. So the rule has been met, and we have our vertices, we have nodes. Is that okay? So end of story. That is connectivity for you. So connectivity is what you need in any, if you are modeling a network. Okay, so that the network will be well connected. Let's talk about area definition or containment. Area definition or containment. Okay, so polygon arc topology, that's another name for area definition or containment. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, an enclosed polygon has a measurable area. That is the first rule of the containment or area definition. An enclosed polygon has an immeasurable area. So if you cannot measure the area of a polygon, then you have missed something. Exactly. It means that the polygon is not enclosed. It's not probably a polygon. It's probably a polyline. Are you okay? It's probably a polyline and not a polygon. Okay, so when I draw something like this and I leave a little gap, you can't measure the area for this. This is even a path. It's a path just that it goes and comes close to where I started from, but it is not a polygon because it is not enclosed. Okay, so it's only the enclosed polygon that we can measure the area for. Is that okay? Like this one here. This one we can actually, measure the area of the polygon. It has to start from one point and then end right back there. Okay, so also list of arcs define the boundaries and enclosed areas are maintained. So the arc arc topology, polygon arc topology is dealing with a polygon. Okay, the fact that the polygon has to be enclosed before you can measure the area, and the fact that the polygon itself is made up of list of arcs, so that one side of the polygon is actually an arc. So here we have how many? We have one arc here, the second arc, the third arc, then we have the fourth arc here. Okay, so these arc 1, 2, 3, and 4 are enclosed to form the polygon, and it's part of topology. Okay, it's part of the polygon arc topology. All right, the last one the last rule under area definition and containment is that